morning, Vietnam. Anyway, I always wanted to do that. Welcome back, Brew Crew, to another episode of Shedding Your Skin. This one is early. Obviously, it's not 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I'm usually on. However, I am going to a concert tonight, and I did not do a pre-record, so I decided to do a live when I woke up. So we'll see how it goes. Got my coffee in my Husbandry Pro mug. And, my usual elevator pitch is, go support U.S. ARC. They fight for our rights as reptile keepers. I am a bronze member. Let me find the thing. Boom. Anyway, for everybody that is out at Daytona, I hope you guys are having a blast. It seemed like y'all were having fun last night. Hair Down seemed a little bit hectic. I got to show off some stuff. But, I mean, it is what it is. It happens. You go to a new place, you don't test out the Wi-Fi, everybody's there to have a good time. Who cares if your live wasn't the best, if you had a great time. Anyway, so Don, thank you for tuning in this morning. I'm assuming you have notifications for my channel. If you don't have them set up, please do. Then you know whenever I come on. But yeah, this is different for me. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Anyway, awesome, Don. Yeah, and plus you get a t-shirt. What's good, Morbid? Thanks for tuning in. It's been a while since I've seen you. I still have that snake if you want it. But if you don't, it's probably going to go to the Gettysburg show in November where I am vending. So I should have a couple things there at my table. Some breeder-sized girls, some hatchlings, some leftovers from last year. So we'll see. I'm really excited. It's going to be the first show that I'm vending. I got a table from Chris at B&S Reptilia, so hopefully everything works out, and I will have some stuff at the show on my table. You're just waiting on some logistic things on my end, like getting my propagation license, things like that I will need to vend. Anyway, so I didn't really have too much planned for this show since I don't have a guest, and a lot of the stuff that's been going on here I've either shared on other channels or posted to Instagram or through shorts. So I just want to give everybody like a brief, how my season's going type of thing. Since I really didn't do any videos, because they're a pain in the butt. You got to film them, then you got to edit them, make sure they're good. I forget the last one I actually did. It's a lot easier to make shorts because you don't have to edit them. And it's a lot easier to do lives like this. I could have done a pre-recorded thing where I had other videos and things like that, but it is what it is. And I'm pretty sure I didn't really do anything about the clutches that I have this year. So the first one was we paired it. It was a joint clutch between myself and my buddy Brad at Mountainside Herp. It was his ivory male to my Bumblebee Spark. That was the first one to go. Morning, Patrick. How's it going? She gave me 8 eggs. 2 were slugs. One was a non-viable boob egg. And then, so I put the 5 in the incubator. I wound up losing 2 of them because they started molding out. They had weak veins. So that was a bummer. So right now we're on day 53 for that clutch. I do have another egg in there out of the 3 that are remaining that is very likely non-viable. It's starting to get that little like opaqueness, and it's really squishy, and it's not as firm and doesn't look as nice as the other 2 eggs. So hopefully the ivory did sire the clutch. I never saw a lock, so it could be retained sperm from the previous season, or it could be a Partho clutch. As cool as that would be, with the genetics of the mom, that's bad. Nobody wants to see Super Spider or something like that. So I'm hoping the ivory did his job, and I just didn't see it, and we hopefully have some pumas. I mean, at worst case scenario, everything should be Yellow Belly, right? So Brad's coming over on Monday, and we're gonna cut those 2 eggs. Maybe we'll cut the third one that's likely bad in the name of science, just to see if anything's going on in there. There are still some veins, but it does not look like there's anything really developed in there. So we'll see. And I will, depending on how that goes, I will post the video. If not, I will just talk about it. I don't want to show a video of snakes that didn't make it through the process. I'm not about that. I'll just tell you because some people don't like seeing that stuff. Morning, Tim. How's it going? And then so the clutch 2 is due to hatch a week from now. So I will very likely, if all looks well, be cutting that clutch on my show next week, which will be at its normal time. Hopefully, I'll have some people on the panel that can help me ID things like that. But it shouldn't be too difficult. The pairing was Super Pastel Leopard Butter to a butter. Everything's pastel. That one's a given. Leopard pastel. I mean, it should be pretty easy, depending on what I can see in the snake, to identify everything. Obviously, Blue-Eyed Lucy's all white. So it shouldn't be too difficult. That clutch has 7 eggs. They all look great. They're starting to dimple a little bit. And I'm much more confident about that one than I am the first clutch from the Bumblebee Spark Girl. That one was just a disaster from the get-go. Everything that could go wrong pretty much has gone wrong with that clutch. But, I got extremely lucky last year to have my first clutch with 5 good eggs, and pretty much everything thrived after I was assist feeding a few of them. I still have 3 that are going to go to other homes at some point. They're a little on the smaller side, unfortunately, because some of them were assist fed for a while, so they haven't really moved on to larger preams to sort of bulk up to the size that they should be. But for the male that's for sale, if somebody gets him at the show and they start heavily feeding him more than I am, I'm just feeding him every week right now. He should be up to size pretty quickly. They're all eating very well, so I'm not concerned. They're just a little on the smaller side because of how they started. But this seems for me to have been the year where I've experienced slugs, non-viable eggs going bad in the incubator. I had one snake have a prolapse. So it's sort of been one of those years where, everything's catching up with me and I'm not as lucky. So we'll see how these 2 clutches go. Like I said before, I'm not exactly super confident about the one from the Bumblebee Spark just because of everything that's happened so far. So anything that happens there that is good will be, I'll be really excited because I've already sort of prepared for the worst for that one. But the other one, like I said earlier, it looks great. Hopefully I hit some bells. Pretty much everything from that clutch will be available once it's ready. Hopefully everything eats and can be on my table at Gettysburg, provided all of that works out. So I'm excited about that. Awesome, man. It's like everybody sort of having clutches everybody's laying at the same time, which is cool. Mine were a couple days apart as well. But the weird thing was they both took like 50 days to lay the eggs, which isn't unheard of. It just seemed really, really long. And I was getting to the point where, okay, I'm a little concerned. And about 2 days before I was really concerned and probably going to the vet to see what was going on, they both laid. So that was a relief. Excuse me. So some other things that have been going on here. I know I've showed some shorts. I've showed off these animals, on other lives, or possibly just brought one out on one of mine. I don't know. I haven't really done too much lately, but I did have some new pickups that I really haven't talked too much about, as far as with them in my hands. So one of the first ones I picked this one up at Jeremy Warfel's barbecue for Ron at AVM Reptiles, and it is a pastel because obviously I need more pastel. I don't have enough and I'm making more. This is a pastel acid 100% het clown girl, and she's possibly het for pied. So one of the difficulties here with acid is it's got the busy belly anyway, so it's sort of might be taken away from the tracks. There might be a little ringer there, but I'm not really too concerned about it proving out het for pied. I'll just, when it sheds, I'll send the test to Charlie Ray Rider and see, if she is great. If she's not, oh well, acid clowns are pretty cool, and I have a visual clown male, so that is a project for the future. She's got to start eating regularly. She does have that acid problem, so we're throwing the kitchen sink at her, just to try to get her up to size. For what's it going to be, 2025. So hopefully, she'll be up to size by then. If not, it'll be the following season. So we'll see. I'm really excited. Just to have acid here. It was one of the genes that I really wanted as far as codoms go. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Acid clowns, man. So she came from, I believe it was, she came from like a Batman and then like a clown pied, something like that, or clown hat pied. Yeah, like I said, I'm excited to have that one. Another one I picked up because you can't have too many proven breeders or backup males, right? Because I only had one going into last year, so I knew I needed to pick up a few more. So because I do like yellow belly in certain things, I picked up this highway male from Nathan at Infinite Impossible Pythons. So obviously he'll be ready to go for next year, or this coming fall. And I'm thinking if the Bumblebee Spark is ready to go, I will pair him to her because everything's going to be yellow belly or gravel. It has to be, so I can hit ivories. It is what it is. With pastel and spider, I'm not too thrilled on having too much spider, but hopefully I hit some that I can hold back that are bypasses that gravel spark. So that's the idea, and then if I hit that, I hit something without spider that does have the ALS gravel spark, then I'll probably raise that up and put something recessive and try to work something out there. I might have to just suck it up and buy something that is a highway or freeway het something, but we'll see. It's just one of those side projects that I'm not entirely focused on. So if I don't do that pairing, it is what it is. I can always put that male to something else and make those heads. If I had a male, then I can put it back. But for me, it's always how do I improve upon what I have without breaking the bank. But when I can cut out time, it's something that I definitely do. Okay, so this one is the one I'm most excited about. So everybody knows if they were watching stuff. All right, I'm not going to pick him out because he wants to eat. I'm all about Ultramel. So I was showing off that Ultramel pinstripe male pretty much any time I had a chance. So I was planning on making double hets this year, pairing him to my Pied Girl. That seemingly has not worked. So I had already purchased this girl from Kai over at Lucas Landon to sort of get ahead of that. So I picked up the Pied 100% het Ultramel, which is great. So, if I did make a double heads, next year, they would, I had a male, they would grow up and I'd be able to pair that to her and sort of cut out and, increase my odds of hitting that double visual. So I got a little impatient. I was talking to Kai at Jeremy's barbecue, and I was like, I don't think any of my Ultramel stuff's gonna really go as far as the double recessive. So he's like, you know what? I have a Ultramel het pied breeder male that I'll sell you. So that sort of got the ball rolling. So I contacted him later, and we made it happen. So This is the Ultramel 100% het pied prune breeder from Kai. So now everything at least will be a double het, but I have the ability to hit Ultramel, pied het Ultramels, and the double visual straight away. It's like a 25% chance when that girl is ready. So, I mean, that cuts out a lot of time. So, in 2 years, I'll be able to do that instead of, double het to double het praying and then growing everything up. And, that takes a lot more. So I'm very happy that I was able to get him and, sort of set that project ahead. And the really nice thing is, when you're talking to people that you deal with, sometimes they have something else available. So one of the things I didn't have, at the time it was anything Ultramel that was a female. So Kai, knowing that I texted me. Oh, that's Don. Okay, I'll get back to you then on that. So I didn't have a female Ultramel at all, and Kai wound up having this female Ultramel hatchling that's possibly het for pied that he was willing to part with. So I was able to get her with that prune breeder male, and obviously I got to wait a long time for her to grow up, and that will be nice because now anything that I make that is going to be het for Ultramel, I'll be able to have better odds at proving out and not have to grow up one of my own het females and gamble on that. So that's going to be nice. And also, I'm pretty sure she's going to prove out to be het for pied. If not, it's not a big deal because I do have, the pied het Ultramel girl that, I can use. So it'll be exciting to see, what I can do with her. One of the things I want to do with that male is I want to pair him to this girl here when she's ready. And this is a super pastel and she butter ghost. Right, so everything would be pastel. Het Ultramel and het ghost. And then hopefully, I'd be able to tell or test for what would be het for pied, and then I can hold that back. Hold back a couple of them. See, I mean, that's a long shot triple project. And hopefully, I can make a visual and, tag along, one of the other recessives in that project as a hat. So maybe, a hypopied or Ultramel pied het hypo, something like that. That way, I'm not waiting and gambling on a triple because they look really nice. The Ultramel hypopieds. And let's see, what else for next year that I'm going to try. Okay. You angry? And the other one, and this is a bit of a long shot for a double recessive. This is my clown, possibly blade. Shout out to Ray. Possible het orange ghost. So I'm pairing him to get her out. She's got a little bit of stuck shed. Maybe I'll send that in to this Orange Dream, possible double het clown orange ghost. I'm thinking she's probably gonna prove for clown. I don't think either of them are bright enough at this point to be het for hypo, or het for orange ghost. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, that could be a cool thing to hit. If I hit a male, I'm definitely going to hold that back because that is better than my current clown male. Another thing I need to at some point get is just a breeder clown female because I don't have anything visual. So that's me this year, me in the future. I'm trying not to add too many things just because of room. I need to get another hatchling rack like ASAP. Yeah, Eric. I'm going to a concert. I don't want to do this from the road, so I figured I'd do it early. I'm going to see Government Mule do Dark Side of the Mule, so they're doing Pink Floyd covers, and I'm seeing and Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Experience is opening. So I'm paying to see some glorified cover bands tonight. But it should be fun. Anyway, so I do need a hatchling rack. I only have 11 slots open right now. Um, obviously some will move, but I only have 10 eggs in the incubator, and one of them probably going to be bad, so that's not a big concern right now at this moment. I got plenty of space for adults and 4 slots for juveniles and stuff growing up for holdbacks. So space isn't too big of a concern, but I just don't want to get in too deep and have a lot going on rather quickly. That's why I didn't. That's why when I started, I started from hatchlings for the most part, or juveniles, and grew everything up. One, to get that experience. Two, to not get overwhelmed. Now I'm breeding my own rodents. So as it stands right now, it's sort of I'm overproducing rodents, which is good because I can trade them or sell them, and I can feed my collection. But I don't want to get to that point where it's like I have to move off of stuff because I don't have the time or I can't produce the rodents, or I don't want to get overwhelmed and sell off stuff. I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I can always handle the animals that I have. Um, so I don't really want to add too many things. Plus, the more I add, the more projects I get into, the more spread out things get, and then I'm not focused on things that I can produce and at the higher end. So I'm talking to some people about what to move on from. There's quite a few in this rack that I will likely be moving on from as I have better girls growing up. That will be ready, come this fall, come next year. And I want to keep my production rather small and not make clutches just to make clutches, because there's 40,000 ball pythons for sale on Mork Market right now. I mean, that's a lot. So, if you're making stuff that's plain Jane, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just at this point, I'm looking towards, okay, what can I make that other people don't have in abundance, and what can I make that will further what's going on here? It is nice to have some stuff that you can move to the pet market. So I mean, we'll see how it goes come November when I'm vending. If I can move these animals, I mean, if they're listening to any people on the YouTube, it seems like everybody hates pastel, and anything in the spider complex, stay away from. Um, and I do have a lot of pastel, and obviously there's going to be at least 7 more. So it's one thing I want to try to limit here, but with 3 super pastels, I'm going to be making. So it's finding what combos they work in. And Blue Eyed Lucy, that's they sell, but I think I want to move on from the butter Mojave stuff, maybe bamboo Mojave special. Do something where the ALS genes in it aren't all over the place. A special Mojave. I mean, somebody like a breeder might buy that. If they don't have special, something like, and they're guaranteed Mojave or special from that animal. So it's sort of looking at can I make higher end bells where I can sell them to both a pet keeper if they don't move, or to a hobbyist breeder or something like that. So that's what I'm looking at. I'd like to move away from the spider complex, the OG one. I know I did a video on it, and I have champagne stuff. None of my stuff currently, at least that I produce, does have a wobble, but I do get the reluctance to get into that. So they may look beautiful, but if you can't move them, if people don't want them, then why are we doing this? So that's something I want to, I might play with it, just, at least champagne for now, in that OG complex, just to see what it can do. Because it's really powerful, and there aren't really many things that sort of bring it back to what we would, consider a normal ball python pattern. I mean, Enchi and Leopard do sort of bring some pattern back, but I'd really like to see it in some other things. But it's just so, given the issues with that, I'm sort of hesitant. So we'll see. where I go. But I do have some of the better or newer genes that I call it the new spider, but it's spot nose complex. So I have a leopard spot nose, possible het pied girl that should be ready next year, and I have a blackhead yellow belly that she eats well, but she should be ready for end of 24. I hope. We'll see. Yeah, Eric. They're really nice visual snakes. If it wasn't for the issues with them, they'd command a lot more. They're beautiful. It just seems something like even some of the other ones in that complex, they're just visually stunning animals. They just come with that issue, and we need to be a little more responsible about not oversaturating with that stuff. Morning, Heather. Yeah, I'm doing it early today. Got a concert tonight. I mean, it. So Bob Vu said this. I forget what was on it, whose live it was. It might have been Keys or Mike's or something. Spider will eat, spider will breed. And in my experience from breeding champagne last year, I hit 3 out of 5 that had it. Is that right? I hit 4. I lied. So most of that collection was champagne. I had a champagne het pied, 2 champagnes, and a champagne pastel. Luckily for me, I did hit. It was 2 to 3 on the sex odds, and luckily for Jess, it was, she got that nice champagne het pied male, because he visually stunning, but he served no purpose here, and I'm really happy that she has him. But I do miss looking at them. If it was one of the ones that if it had been a female and I'd sold it, I'd probably have regrets. But anyway, looking to move sort of away from spider, and the things, hidden gene 111 and things like that, and doing more Wookiee. That might be one I buy in the future. Spot nose and blackhead. I really like blackhead. I want to try to get that into clown. I think that'll be great. But I can also I can make blackhead highways. So that might be something. But then I also have the possibility of hitting blackhead ivories, which is okay. But I want to sort of move everything towards that, recesses. Especially, if I can work into the Ultra Pied project, that's great. I mean, I guess I must have some like innate for the, that color palette. The oranges, the reds, things like that, because it's in my logo on my shirt, and I do like that. And even the blood python I got has that same hue. It's a T positive male I got from Chris at BNS. He's a pain in the butt. So at some point, I will calm him down. But I just like that color palette. So I want to try to work everything towards that and in those projects, and then adding, hypo that can't hurt. I don't have any Desert Ghost stuff that's visual. I do have possible het enhancers and a possible het DG. So I'm just going to throw them together in a couple of years and pray. Because right now, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's really cost effective for me to have them shed tested. The worst case scenario, I hit some genetic stripes and, possibly het for con, then I might test. Or if I do hit, then it's great. I'm still on the fence. It depends, because the one is possibly het for cryptic now. So I may just test that to see, and then send the rest. And I don't know. I'm on the fence, and I have time. And I also have time to add things into that project. So we'll see. I'm in that project for next to nothing, since the 2 males that are 100% het clown and het genetic stripe, and possibly het enhancer from Antoine. I won that in a Patreon giveaway. And then the other one I got from Charlie, at Reg and Renee, relatively cheap, and that one's 100% het genetics right, possible het DG, and possibly het cryptic now, because he found that out and let me know. So I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I mean that happens. I have some, like, it's like feeding day, and I'm surprised some of the ones I was able to take out earlier. I have some that are just great feeders. They're a little nippy, and I warn everybody that comes over, hey, just watch that one. It's probably hungry. Okay, I just got a concerning text. Geez. About one of the wrestlers I coached. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, see what's going on there. All right. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and watch the rest of the stuff going on today. Tune in to me next week. I should have hopefully an egg cutting video that comes out for the Ivory to Bumblebee Spark. We'll see how that goes. I don't, like I said earlier, if it's really not viable or everything's DOA, I might not share the actual images. I'll just let you guys know what happened on my video on Thursday, and then next Saturday we'll be here at 4. Hopefully, I can do a panel show and cut the Super Pastel Leopard Butter to Butter Clutch. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. I know it's been short, and I know it's earlier than usual, and hopefully I have a great time tonight at the concert. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.